In this class, we can discuss economic load dispatch including the losses. Last class, we have seen what is economic load dispatch and the solution for economic load dispatch problem neglecting the losses. According to economic load dispatch problem neglecting the losses, a system will work economically when the incremental cost of fuel at each generating units are equal. So consider a case when there are two generators and supplying a load. If two generators are having equal incremental cost, then the two generators should supply equal amount of power to the load. But by common sense, we can say that the load is near to the generator 2. So it will be efficient if generator 2 supplies more amount of power to the load. If when generator 1 supplies power to the load, there will be transmission loss also. So considering this case, we have to include transmission losses in the economic load dispatch problem. Usually in all the cases with number of power plants with some amount of transmission lines, then we have to include the transmission losses also. If the generators are within a plant, we can neglect the transmission losses. So the economic load dispatch can be solved by using the function ft, the cost function ft equal to sum of the cost of n generating units f1 plus f2 plus etc. fn. So minimum value of ft has to be found out, the condition for minimum value. Subjecting to the constraint, total generation should be equal to total load demand plus losses. Last case, we have considered total generation is equal to the total load demand. Here we have considered total generation, sigma n equal to 1 to n, Pn is equal to Pd plus PL, or Pd plus PL minus sigma n equal to 1 to n, Pn equal to 0, where PL is total system loss. So for solving the function, we can write the function f equal to ft plus lambda, Lagrangian multiplier lambda into Pd plus PL minus sigma Pn. If Pd plus PL minus sigma Pn is 0, that time is 0 and f equal to ft. And the minimum value of function is obtained when the partial differential of the function is 0. So we can find dou f by dou Pn equal to dou ft by dou Pn plus lambda into dou Pd by dou Pn is 0 as load demand does not depend on the generation, plus dou PL by dou Pn minus dou Pn by dou Pn is 1 minus 1 equal to 0, or dou Fn by dou Pn plus lambda into dou PL by dou Pn equal to lambda, where dou PL by dou Pn is incremental transmission loss and lambda is incremental cost. This is the economic load dispatch equation. This equation is a set of n equations with n plus 1 unknowns. Here P1, P2, etc. Pn are unknown and lambda is also an unknown. So there will be n plus 1 unknowns. This equation is called coordination equation. It is because in this equation the incremental loss is coordinated with incremental cost. The incremental transmission losses are coordinated with incremental cost of production in coordination equation. So to solve this equation, we have to know the incremental transmission loss or transmission loss. So if transmission loss depends on line parameters, bus voltages, power flow, etc. For finding the actual value of transmission loss, it requires a tedious calculations. But we can find the transmission loss by using generations in terms of transmission loss coefficients. here PL equal to P1, P2, etc. Pn, B11, etc. Bnn, P1, P2, Pn, where P1 to Pn are generation at each bus. If there are n buses, P1, P2, etc. generation at n buses, and B11, B12, etc. are the transmission loss coefficient. Bmn is the transmission loss coefficient between mth and nth bus. By using this equation, we can find the transmission loss as PL equal to sigma m equal to 1 to n equal to 1 to n, Pm, Bmn, Pn. For solving this equation, we require dou PL by dou Pn. So we can find dou PL by dou Pn. By differentiating this equation, we will get 2 sigma m Bmn Pn. Here we can say that when we are substituting these values, consider it is a 2-bus system. Then first case m and n will be 1. Then P1, B11, P1. So it will be P1 square. First time will be P1 square. When we are differentiating that, it will be 2P1. So the term 2 will come. So you can split this and check for the answer. Dou PL by dou Pn equal to 2 sigma Bmn Pn. And also we know that from the incremental cost curve, dou Fn by dou Pn is Fnn Pn plus Fn. Incremental cost curve is discussed in part 1. It is a linear curve. So we can write in form mx plus c, where Fnn is the slope of the curve and Fn is the intercept. So dou Fn by dou Pn is Fnn Pn plus Fn. So we can rewrite this equation. Dou Fn by dou Pn can be written as Fnn Pn plus Fn plus lambda into 2 sigma m Bmn Pn equal to lambda. Or this equation is Fnn Pn plus Fn plus lambda into 2 sigma Bmn Pn equal to lambda. Our aim is to find the generation at each bus. So we can take the Pn value. We can collect the coefficients of Pn. For collecting the coefficient of Pn, we can split this sigma term into 2 parts. One with m equal to n and another part with m not equal to n. When m equal to n, the term will be Bnn Pn. That Pn can be taken along with Fnn Pn. So Pn can be taken in common. So Pn into Fnn plus 2 lambda Bnn equal to, the 10 can be taken to other side, minus lambda sigma m not equal to n Bmn Pn minus Fn plus lambda. So Pn can be written as 1 minus Fn by lambda sigma m not equal to n to Bmn Pn divided by Fnn by lambda plus 2 Bnn. So this is the value of generation at nth bus for economic load dispatch condition. We can draw the flow chart for the same. First we have to read Fn, slope, intercept, load demand PD, minimum and maximum values of power generation, and we can assume a value of lambda and delta lambda. At first we have to determine Pn corresponding to incremental cost of production, that by neglecting the losses from the incremental cost curve, we can find the value of, from the incremental cost curve, we can find the value of Pn. Then set k equal to 0 and set n equal to 1, or take the first bus and find the value of Pn by substituting the value of loss component PL by using the equation derived here. Then check whether Pn is greater than Pn max. If it is greater than Pn max, we can substitute Pn as Pn max. Check whether Pn is less than Pn minimum. If it is less than Pn minimum, substitute Pn as Pn minimum. If otherwise, if it is within the limit, or after substituting Pn max or Pn minimum, we can increment the bus count to second bus or next n plus 1th bus. Then after completing that, check if all the buses have been accounted. If no, we have to go for increment in next bus and calculate power for each bus. If all the buses are accounted, then calculate the change in power at each iteration. Here k is set as 0. Then for k equal to 1 also we can check the value and find the change in power in each iteration. Pik minus Pik minus 1. If it is less than some small value sigma, then we can go to next step. Otherwise, we can increment the k to k plus 1. Then calculate the load value, power loss value, power loss value PL sigma n, sigma m, Pn, Bm and Pn by substituting all the values of Pm and Pn. Then find the value of delta P. Delta P is generation minus load demand minus losses. Pg minus Pd minus Pl. If delta P is less than sigma, if delta P is very small or in the limit, then we can stop the calculation and print the generation. Then check whether delta P is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, we have to decrease the lambda value. Lambda equal to lambda minus delta lambda. If it is less than 0, we can increment the lambda value as lambda equal to lambda plus delta lambda and again do the calculations once more. Now we can see one problem in this method. Consider a simple 2 power plant system. Assume that the loss formula coefficients Bmn 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, etc. And here incremental cost curve function is also given. Dou f1 by dou p1 equal to 0.01 p1 plus 2. Dou f2 by dou p2 equal to 0.01 p2 plus 1.5. So here from the equation we have p1 equal to 1 minus f1 by lambda minus 2 b1 to p2 by f11 lambda plus 2 b11. Here only 2 buses, 1 and 2. So first case p1, when we are considering p1, when m not equal to n, we have to consider only m equal to 2. When we are considering p2, we can consider m equal to 1. Like that. So here f1 is 2 and f11 is 0.01, b12 is minus 0.005, p2 we have to find out, b11 is 0.0015. Similarly, p2 also. We can substitute all these values. Then we will get two equations p1 and p2 in terms of p2 and p1. Because in loss formula we have p2 and p1. So p1 and p2 will be obtained in terms of p2 and p1. So for getting the p2 and p1 values, first we can calculate the cost generation corresponding to incremental cost. Lambda equal to dou f1 by dou p1 equal to dou f2 by dou p2. So lambda equal to 0.01 p1 plus 2. Also lambda equal to 0.01 p2 plus 1.5. Here we can substitute lambda as 2.6. So P1 equal to 2.6 minus 2 by 0.01, that is 60 megawatt. Next is P2 not P1, sorry. P2 equal to 2.6 minus 1.5 by 0.01, that is 110 megawatt. Substitute this value of P1 and P2 to the obtained equations. When we are substituting the values for P1 and P2, we will get new value of P1 and P2, including the losses. By considering the losses, P1 and P2 is obtained as 49.77 megawatt and P2 equal to 54.61 megawatt. Now, by substituting these values, here next case in the flow chart, here the first step is this one, calculate generation by incremental cost, then substitute this formula and find the values. In the flow chart we have seen the next step is check whether it is within the limit. The change first iteration and second iteration is within the limit. So we can do the next iteration and check, we can check whether it is within the limit. So next iteration we can do. For the next iteration we can substitute new values. Here P1 is 49.77 and P2 is 50.4.61. That can be substituted in the next case. So here P1 can be found out by substituting 50.4.61 for P2 and 49.77 for P1. Then the obtained values are 41.68 and 52.53. Then again we can find here we can say that there is a large difference between P1 and first iteration and second iteration. First iteration it is 49.77 and second iteration it is 41.68. So there is a large difference. So we can do one more iteration by substituting 41.68 and 52.53. Then we will get P1 equal to 41.38 and 52.5. So the difference is reduced. Again we can do one more iteration. Then we will get P1 equal to 41.37 and 52.50. From this we can see that first iteration, second and third and fourth. Third and fourth iteration will have only small difference. P1 3 and P1 4. Third and fourth iteration there is only 0.01 difference. So we can take that value. So by using this value we can fix that value and 41.37 and 52.5. By using this value we can find the power loss by substituting P1 and P2. Then load demand can be obtained as total generation. Total generation is P1 plus P2 minus loss, that is 86.59 megawatt. That will be the total load demand. So we have to consider the incremental cost and find the values of P1 and P2. Then substitute that P1 and P2 in the equation and find the value of power generation including losses. Then do next iteration and check whether it is within the limit and do the iterations till it reaches within the limit. There will be small change between the power generation in each iteration. Then substitute for that value for finding the loss, and also we can find the load demand by using loss and the generation values. Next, another method for finding the economic load dispatch problem is penalty factor method. From the coordination equation, that is dou Fn by dou Pn plus lambda into dou Pl by dou Pn equal to lambda. We can write dou Fn by dou Pn equal to lambda into 1 minus dou Pl by dou Pn. Or also we can write dou Fn by dou Pn into 1 by 1 minus dou Pl by dou Pn equal to lambda. Or dou Fn by dou Pn into Ln equal to lambda, where Ln is called penalty factor, which is 1 by 1 minus dou Pl by dou Pn. Or when we are calculating the value, it is approximately equal to 1 plus dou Pl by dou Pn. We can multiply numerator and denominator with 1 plus dou Pl by dou Pn. Then it is approximately equal to 1 plus dou Pl by dou Pn, or it is Ln dash. Since penalty factor is obtained from the same equation for economic load dispatch or coordination equation, the solution will be same if we use penalty factor method or other economical load dispatch method. Thank you. Next class we can discuss some problems related to this economic load dispatch problem, and the second part of the economic load dispatch is unit commitment. That also we can discuss. Thank you.